Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Entrepreneur Investor Connection. Today, we are talking about El Salvador. If you want to join in the chat, have a conversation, I'm on Clubhouse. I'm going live right now. Of course, I'm on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn. And I'm getting on Clubhouse. So El Salvador just made the first domino drop, and you're already seeing a lot more countries saying they're going to adopt Bitcoin. And what does this mean for one, El Salvador, because they're the first, and two, for like the rest of the world in cryptocurrency? I believe we're heading into a golden time of innovation. And even I just saw a post, I think I posted on Instagram, that they were even talking about in El Salvador how to make it a Bitcoin mining hub, because a lot of the fear about Bitcoin is that it takes up natural resources, right? It's bad for the planet, and that's bull. But El Salvador is saying, you know what? Let's try to build renewable, 100% renewable energy Bitcoin mining using the power from our volcanoes. That's pretty savage. Like, if they make that happen, there's gonna be no way of complaining about what Bitcoin does. Even it's funny to think that people think about Bitcoin and think that negative about its energy usage when we use energy way worse. Like, I heard a stat, just dryers, washer and dryers, just dryers spend way more energy than the possible future currency of our planet. The best currency that's ever been possibly created to solve the problems of our society. People are like, yeah, but it uses too much energy. It's kind of crazy to me. If you really fully understood what Bitcoin was, and you understand the usage of it, and then you understand the power it uses compared to banks, right? Like right now, what is Bitcoin really? Bitcoin was the start of the automation of the financial industry. And for a country like El Salvador, which most people, I'm not sure if it's on the list, but I'm pretty sure it's a third world country, right? You look at places like that and you're like, for them to adopt it, it's almost no risk for them, right? It's they're pretty much low on the totem pole of countries that get to really work in the world's economy. Like, they're not like up there with America, China, India, UK, stuff like that, right? So now this puts them on the world stage in a way, like for them to be able to say, hey, come here if you want to be innovative. And that is a huge opportunity. Like, we've been having many conversations about possibly buying some property over there and Airbnb it, because what's going to happen? People are going to start going there, even if it's just to have a vacation, get some crypto, do some business, then go. Like the Cayman Islands. Like, it could become like a Cayman Islands situation. And legal, illegal, whatever the case, that's another big misinterpretation of Bitcoin, right? Oh, it's used for criminals. But what about cash? You know how many criminals use cash? All of them, right? So it's like, if you look at what technology can bring, positive and negative, there's always going to be a negative, right? Of course, people are going to figure out how to do things illegally. But what Bitcoin really will do for a society like El Salvador is now, kind of like what I've been saying in all this content, every single person in El Salvador now can become their own bank. And I know I say that and people don't fully understand what I mean. I think a lot of times when I say you can become your own bank when you own cryptocurrency, it's hard to explain until you really see it for yourself. But at the core of it all is, if you have cryptocurrency, you can operate the same way a bank does. What does a bank do? A bank takes in money, it lends it out, then it gives you interest, very little interest, on how much money they make, right? So when you put your dollars into a bank right now, I'll put $1,000 into a bank right now. As soon as they get it, they lend it out or they buy things that make them more money. Then they say, for you doing that, I'm willing to give you 0.01%. And you're like, okay, I'll keep my money in the bank. And then when I need it for the ATM, I use it. They charge me $4 some places it's free, right? So that whole process is how banks are created. And then not to mention the discrepancy of how people are treated, right? If I want to go for a loan, I may or may not get it depending on many factors, including skin color, where you grew up, credit score, all this, right? With crypto, you can do all of these things as an individual, and you can make more interest by far doing it. Like I'm going to do for the next crackingcrypto.club. Go check that out, crackingcrypto.club. For the next one, I'm going to take $1,000 and I'm going to show how with $1,000 you can borrow against it. You can do this with, I've done it with under $100, but I want to show the difference because 1,000 is a nice round number where you're going to start seeing some interest that kind of starts to make sense. Because if you put $1,000 in a regular bank, you're going to make that 0.01%, and you'll see the dollar, right? Oh, you made $1 every month, dollar. I believe that's how it works. But when you create your own bank and you start lending out your money to other people, and then they give you interest on that, and you see all the other mechanisms that come out from that. So just so you understand, check this out. And this, I'll tell you what website you go figure it out, YouTube it, whatever you want. On Cracking Crypto Club, we help people do it. Aave.com, AAVE.com. What you can do is you can take $1,000, put it on Aave.com. Aave will instantly start giving you interest on that money because, just like a bank, they're loaning it out. Then what you can do is you can borrow off of that $1,000 a very high amount. I believe it's like 60%. I gotta check. This one, I'm gonna do it live for my Cracking Crypto Club next time. But I believe you can borrow $600 from that 1,000. Then you could put it on a site like Curve.finance that gives you 8% interest on that money. Plus, right now, if you do it on the Polygon network, which is why I told everybody buy Matic, you get another 20% in Matic. So think about when you add all that up, how much more money that is than just keeping your money in a regular bank instead of becoming your own bank. So when I think about all this and the stuff I see, I'm looking at El Salvador and I'm like, wow, those people are about to come up if they learn all this stuff and do it, which they now is going to become a part of their society. Like literally, they're going to be using crypto to purchase things. Legal tender, making Bitcoin legal tender, that is a big deal because right now in America, Bitcoin is like an asset. So if I wanted to buy a sandwich with Bitcoin, it's kind of like I would have to sell my house, pay taxes on that, then buy the sandwich. That's pretty much how they treat Bitcoin. It's like a house. So if you sell it, you have to pay taxes on it. So by using it, you have to pay taxes. So I'll give you an even easier example. Tesla, they said they would accept Bitcoin before. Not now, but that's what they said before, right? So let's say the Tesla costs $50,000 and you buy it with Bitcoin. You end up owing 20 to 30% interest by buying that through Bitcoin, because when you spend the 50,000, depending on how long you had that 50,000 that Bitcoin, you will have to pay 20 to 30% tax. Let's say it's 20% tax. That means you have to pay $10,000 more for this car because you use Bitcoin. If it's 30% because you had it less than a year, you have to pay an extra $15,000 for this car. That doesn't make sense. So you wouldn't use Bitcoin to buy things because when you spend it, you owe taxes. So that's why for it to become a legal tender, that means when you buy it, when you spend it, you don't pay tax on it. So that means more likely to people to use it. So there's a couple things that's good, and there's some maybe good and bads about it on the Bitcoin value chart. Because right now most people are using Bitcoin like gold. Gold is like a store value. You hold it, you keep its value, and then you you sell it when you want to get some money in, but you pay taxes. But you don't see people walking around buying sandwiches with gold, right? You don't see people buying cars with gold, right? So right now, crypto is kind of making Bitcoin is in the world of home type assets that grow, that keep value, grow in value, but when you want to sell them, you have to pay taxes on them. By El Salvador saying we're going to use it as legal tender, they removed that barrier, and now it's going to free flow. So and now other countries, I've been seeing, people have been sending me all day. Iran is saying it. A bunch of the South American countries are saying it. Oh, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to head to do the same thing. Why is that? Because right now, and this is where America is, where Donald Trump, my last video, America is the standard, the gold standard of, and even that word, the gold standard, has to do with dollars being backed by gold, which they're not anymore. But since US was the main currency around the world, if Bitcoin becomes the main currency, America loses some of its power around the world. So of course America doesn't want that, but at the same time, innovation doesn't care what you want. Innovation is going to do what's best for the most amount of people and make it so you can't compete with it. That's how you know when you see an innovation, when you see it. When you see something that you're like, oh, other businesses are not going to be able to compete with that. And that's pretty much what Bitcoin did. And that's why, like, you should really check out The Internet of Money, which is a great book that really breaks down. It's a free book too. You can get it for free. Remy Room, this is huge for crypto. 100% is huge for crypto, because not only Bitcoin is going to thrive because of this, other cryptocurrencies are going to as well, because once you do Bitcoin, it's like a gateway drug to all of the other crazy cool projects being created every day by the crypto community. So if you're into Bitcoin and you're buying Bitcoin to use it, and you see, hold on, I can use this other coin and get some interest on my bank and borrow and make some extra money, and then I could turn that into Bitcoin and use it. That's what decentralized finance will create for the world. And El Salvador just kind of set the match for the world. And it's super interesting to me. Any comments, any questions, definitely come on. I'm trying to get the Clubhouse working. My internet is not working out. Today's been a rough day for internet in this area. I'm not sure what's going on. But yeah, I think when I really look at all of what is happening in the world with crypto, and then even looking at the charts and how it's going up and down, and it's looking less volatile than normal, but still volatile, it just makes me think that, we're getting closer and closer to everyone in the world understanding that they need to own some cryptocurrency. Just like everybody in the world would love to own a home, now you can own cryptocurrency very easy, and it's treated the same way as a home in most places in the world, except El Salvador. And where El Salvador just first that made that domino drop, it may make Bitcoin, it might change the way Bitcoin is viewed, right? It may actually become a currency. So if you hear people now, they're like, oh wait, it's not a currency. Portugal next. You see, Stone says on IG Live that Portugal is saying, yeah, I've seen a bunch of different countries saying they're gonna be the next one to go. And when you look at these countries, what else is gonna happen to these countries? The real estate is gonna boom, right? So like, look, it kind of happened in Puerto Rico a little bit. Puerto Rico made the law that said, you don't got to pay capital gains if you live here half the year, if you make the money here but you export your services. There's all these rules, and if you do them, you don't got to pay capital gains. What that happened? What happened after they did that? A bunch of billionaires and millionaires moved to Puerto Rico, and now a lot of rich people live in Puerto Rico. right? And I know there's a difference. You're still an American citizen in Puerto Rico. Puerto Ricans are American citizens. Some people don't know that. But you can be an American citizen, live in Puerto Rico, take advantage of all the good things about America, live in a tropical island. That's amazing. Buy a beach and take advantage of this no capital gains thing. El Salvador, if people go there, you may need to denounce your citizenship of America, because when you're an American, anywhere you go in the world and you make money, you have to pay taxes. What happened? Basically, El Salvador, so IGM asked what happened. El Salvador just made Bitcoin legal tender, meaning you could use it the same way you could use cash, dollars, so you're not going to pay interest or tax when you use it. Right now in America, when you use Bitcoin, you owe taxes. So if right now I bought something for $10,000, I owe taxes to the government for spending something and making a profit. So they believe I owe. Well, right now they believe it's the fact. I owe taxes on whatever profit I made off of that. So like just like a house, let's say I buy a house for $100,000, I sell it for $200,000. I owe tax on that $100,000 that I made. So with Bitcoin, it's the same thing. But in El Salvador, they're saying it's going to be legal tender, so you just throw it on it. You can spend it, and you're not going to owe that tax. So it's basically going to create an environment where people like me, I'm already looking at Airbnb opportunities in El Salvador. Like, it's just going to be a place where people are going to want to go. And I think it was genius by the president. Very, very innovative for a country to say, all right, I'm going to be the first one. I'll take the backlash. I'll take the heat. But I believe it was going this way anyway. He's right. He's right. There was no stopping this from happening. Whoever chose to do it first would just benefit the most. And that's how innovation works in general, right? Like, most people are scared of it, but the people that are not scared of it benefit the most. So part of why I create this content is I want people to understand the innovations that are coming around and be able to take advantage of them. And one of them that I'm talking about right now is decentralized finance, and it's super connected to Bitcoin. Decentralized finance is kind of the baby of Bitcoin. Bitcoin was created to remove the shackles of the monetary system, right? The monetary system is run by banks, central bank, local bank, government, and the price of it and the control of it is all based on whatever the people in power want it to be. With crypto, the control of it and how we use it is the people. There's nobody who controls Bitcoin. We own it. We get to own a percentage of its equity. Every time you buy Bitcoin, you own equity in an asset. So Emilio, let's see what Emilio said. Let me know if you need help. I'm originally from El Salvador. Oh, you are. So we're going to El Salvador, Emilio. We got to get our Bitcoin, our Airbnb set up in El Salvador for sure. Milan, is it on Clubhouse? I'm trying to get on Clubhouse, but I don't know if my internet. Some reason the internet today has just been bad where I'm at. But I'm luckily enough, I'm streaming here. I'm not sure what's going on with the internet. Or maybe it's just Clubhouse. I hear Clubhouse is having problems too because of all the Android users. But for now, I'll just keep here for right now, and I'm on YouTube, of course. But basically, the whole thing about what they just set off in El Salvador is, again, now it's in the news. Bitcoin's price went up. Peru, 13%. 13% tax. Okay, so Peru, but Peru, I heard Peru is going to do it too. I think Peru is one of the countries that said they're going to do it too. So if all these countries start to accept Bitcoin and only the countries like America, the bigger countries are not using it like that, they're going to lose a lot of innovative people. And that's what makes these countries go, right? Like, at the end of the day, if the people that are trying to create the most innovative things in the world that make the most money for their countries rather be in El Salvador than America, that's going to put pressure on America to say, you know what? We're going to have to accept it as legal tender too, because we can't be losing the greatest minds. And that's what This is what kind of makes me angry about where America is now with innovation. America is America because it allowed innovation. And now it's kind of stifling innovation. Like, this is one of the biggest opportunities in history. In history. And in America, we're kind of being slowed down by it. One. Two, we are behind. Other countries are doing way more stuff. Look at Matic. If you look at the project of Matic, which I've been talking to you about, this came out of India. India has probably more developers than we have people, right? And they're all very much looking at this Matic product and saying, we're going to build on top of this because people are going to know it came from India. India also very technically savvy, but very poor as well overall. What is a way of changing that? Decentralized finance. What does Matic do? Matic makes decentralized finance cost literally like not even pennies. So when I say create your own bank, and you would think, okay, there's going to be fees, right? So if I want to put $1,000 into something and then turn it into something else, you would think, all right, I'm going to have to pay $1, $5, $10. If you do this on the Ethereum blockchain, you're going to have to pay $60, sometimes $600. Matic made it where you literally spend 10,000 transactions to spend $1. That is a big thing for decentralized finance, and it's going to come out of India, not America. And now you're going to see innovative stuff coming out of El Salvador because they are taking it to the world. Got a beach house waiting for us. Oh, Emilio, you gotta let me know if there's any other ones available. Please let me know. We got the leisure fund. We buying it. Jeff, what's up, man? So you heard about El Salvador. So look, we're going to go with Emilio. You know Emilio. You introduced me to Emilio, Jeff. How crazy is that? Ramon, what's up, Ramon? Milan, I'm still trying to get Clubhouse working. I think my internet on my second phone that does Clubhouse is not working out. Let me turn it off and then turn it back on. Yeah, but I see amazing things for people that understand what's going on. And what I mean by that, what is going on? Decentralized finance is the disruption of the financial industry. There's literally nothing in the prior financial system that can compete with it. Once you go in there and you play with it and you start moving around money, making interest like you've never seen in your life. I just did something today where I was making 100% interest. Show me the financial product in Chase, Citibank, anywhere that gives you that. And of course, people are like, oh, yeah, it's monopoly money. No, it's backed by real world concepts, ideas, and real money. You're putting real money into these things, and it's turning into real money. I know it looks like monopoly money. It sounds like monopoly money, but it is actual money. And the interest you can make, just the interest, just if you don't even buy, you can do this with not even buying a Bitcoin, an Ethereum, a Matic. You can take $1, American dollar, put it in to Coinbase as USDC, which is $1 per coin. So if you buy $1,000, you have 1,000 USDC. You can take that, put it into projects like Aave, and then make interest, borrow off of yourself with no risk because the dollar doesn't go up and down. So it's not like if you borrow off Bitcoin. If you borrow Bitcoin and it goes down, your loan can get called. If you borrow off of USDC, you're good. I looked at a wallet because this is also, they're public. If you know the address of a wallet, you can see it. So this is so crazy when you start playing around with it. There was a wallet with $1 billion, swear to God, $1 billion, borrowing $800 million of USDC. So some rich person put $1 billion, or some rich hedge fund, something, put $1 billion in, borrowed $800 million, And why would you do that, right? Why? What's the reason? What's the point? Because the platform where they did this was giving coins and interest to this wallet. So the wallet was getting interest on the $1 billion. It owed some interest on the loan, but then the coin, which it was compound.finance, that coin is worth $500. At least it was when I looked last. So imagine getting millions of dollars a day off having $1 billion borrow 800 million. You can do this with $1,000 and borrowing $800. You can do this with $100 and borrow $80 and just make more interest than you will make in any bank, any hedge fund, any retirement plan. Nothing competes with this. You have to see for yourself and do it. And of course, we help people at crackingcrypto.club. But if you want to Google it, I mean, there's stuff on YouTube. You have to spend some time understanding it. I did, right? And now I recognize people want some more hand holding, so I put a team together to help people. All right, Emilio, let's see. We have an eye on how the U.S. You have to keep an eye on how the U.S. will react once El Salvador starts receiving investments from foreign countries. Right now, the U.S. dollar is the currency of El Salvador. You are right, and this is why this was a brave move. Sometimes countries go to war for stuff like this, because America's going to lose its dominance, and that's what Trump was saying a few days ago, and he's not wrong. But that was the point of Bitcoin. Bitcoin was created by the technology community to say, all right, technology is being created to level the playing field. But right now, there's certain things that keep the playing field unleveled, like the financial system. How do we make a financial system that actually is fair to every human on the planet? One way, nobody knows who created it. So you can't go after anybody and kill them or take them out. Two is decentralized and distributed around the world. How do they do that? Computers mine it all over the world. So you hear Bitcoin miners, that's the people securing the network by allowing the transactions to be on all of those computers, and they get paid to do that. So every time there's a Bitcoin transaction, all the computers mining it, or many of them, get that transaction. So now there's no way to say that it didn't happen. So those are two ways. Nobody knows who did it. It's spread out. So you can't just go to one person's computer and tear it down and the network is down. It's so spread out, there's no way to stop it. Third thing is open source code. What does that mean? There's no Microsoft. There's no Apple computer that controls what happened. It's open source. The community created it. The community can change it. Only the community can decide what happens to it. This is where the whole cooperative idea and people having a say in how things go, this is why you need to understand this and own it, because this is trying to make it so every human being has a financial shot, no matter where they are in the world, where they come from. If you have a phone and you can reach an ATM with some cash, you can get Bitcoin and you could start doing things. But the countries were starting to shut that down. So there was a story, I think I talked about it a few days ago. This guy bought Jack Dorsey's tweet as an NFT for $3 million. But I believe he was in Iran or one of those countries like that. So they put him in jail because they did not want their people using Bitcoin. But now, because El Salvador, these countries are like, we may need to do this. Like we had to, you know what it is? And this is the thing, as a person that works in innovation, I always joke about this. And when I go to big companies, I always say it. Everybody wants to be innovative, but nobody wants to be innovative. What do I mean by that? Everybody wants to be first, but nobody wants to be first, right? You want to see how it goes for someone else first, right? Oh, you know what? Do that crazy idea with them first, and when it works, we'll do it. That's what El Salvador did. And that's brave. You know what I mean? Like for a country to say, no, we're gonna do it. We'll deal with the repercussions. And I believe they're gonna explode because of it. So any questions, comments? I'm still trying to get Clubhouse working on my phone. So yeah, I think when we look up in the next 5 years, El Salvador is gonna look very different. You see it with places that have done this in the past. Dubai is like that, right? Like Dubai created some type of environment for innovation, and then everybody flocked to it. And now Dubai has this like mystique about it. It's like one of the most technologically advanced places. The real estate is amazing. Everybody's like freaking Porsches and all that stuff in Dubai, right? That's because they came up with this idea of embracing innovation, right? And now El Salvador, the first Caribbean-ish, South American country with beaches. I mean, not to say Dubai don't have beaches, but like always great weather. Pretty much a company that, oh man, I don't even know my password, huh? A country that most people probably never even expected to want to visit, right? Now I'm definitely going to El Salvador, and I'm going to figure out how I can either do business there, create an Airbnb setup, definitely understand how Bitcoin is used in a society that accepts it, because going to El Salvador, once this is all settled and set up, is going to be like walking into the future. It just is. That's how eventually everything will work that way, because like I said, innovation can't be stopped. It's the same thing with the people that were angry at Uber, angry at Airbnb, angry at the printer press when it came out. Innovation can't be stopped, and if you try to stop it, you just wasting your time, and you're just losing out on opportunity. So I'm trying to set up this Clubhouse. My internet's bad. Let me see. We just had a surf competition. Oh yeah, Emilio. So what would you say? How do you think this is gonna affect El Salvador, since you're from there? I'm not sure if you hear me or you're still on, but if you are, please put it in the comment what you think, how you think this is gonna affect your country. All right, Ramon, can you recap once more what exactly El Salvador did and how long until it settles down? All right, so El Salvador basically passed a law 2 nights ago that said they will use Bitcoin as legal tender. What that means is right now, if you use Bitcoin in countries like America, it's treated like if you just sold an asset that made money. So in America, if you sell an asset that makes money, you pay capital gains tax, right? Everybody knows that does stuff like that, whether it's stock, real estate, crypto, you have to pay capital gains tax. By making it legal tender, what it does is now when it's used, you don't have to pay tax on the usage of it. You probably have to pay tax on how you gain it, but not just to use it, right? So like that's the same thing with America. In America, like if you make $1 million, the government wants this $1 million. It's taxed on that $1 million. But when you spend cash, they don't want tax. They're not taxing that, right? So that's where it being legal tender, and that means every establishment, every bank, every institution has to be able to accept it and give it. So what that means is this entire system has to be created. Also, he was talking about mining it, income tax on crypto or sales tax. So crypto is like income tax. You have to pay income tax right now on it. So you make it, and then when you spend it, well, so let's say I bought crypto when it was $1,000, then it became $50,000, and I went to buy a Tesla. I owe $49,000 of profit. I got to pay capital gains on that, whether it's a year or less. That depends on the rate. Let's say it was more than a year. I will pay about 20%, I believe, depending on what tax bracket. 20%. So that means I owe $10,000 extra on that purchase. The government at the end of the year is going to say, okay, you bought that Tesla. That's cool. but you owe me $10,000, right? And you're like, I just spent that on the Tesla. Now I gotta spend an extra $10,000 because I use Bitcoin. So that makes you not want to use Bitcoin, right? Instead, you will use dollars because that doesn't happen. Well, in El Salvador, that's not going to happen. It's going to be like you spend cash. So that's what's super interesting about it. All right, Emilio, pros and cons. What are the pros? What are the cons? Let's go, Emilio. I want to know. You from the country. I want to know, do you think it's a positive or more of a negative? That's what I want to know. Trying to get this damn Clubhouse. I guess Clubhouse is like, yeah, I guess you're not going on. All right. How do you use it because its value changes? That's going to be a big thing, though. That's true. Like, if today I go to buy something and as I'm swiping my card, Bitcoin is worth $5,000 less, that's going to be interesting. I don't know how that's going to work. What I do hope happens, though, is as the reason why it's volatile right now is because there's not a lot of people who own it. I believe last I heard, less than 3% of the entire world owns cryptocurrency. So that means when rich people buy and sell it, they pretty much bring it up and down. So but when a lot of people own it, like let's say everybody on the planet owned it and a rich person sells it, it's not going to move it as much. So pretty much, all right, I think I may have Clubhouse going. Pretty much right now we're so early, and there's opportunity in being this early too. You got to really understand that. Where can I set this to go? Today at 3 go. Yeah, so right now I honestly don't know how that's gonna work. That's a great question, and that's part of what I want to see when I go and see this economy of the future, which they're going to be the first. They got the head start. The government, everybody knows it's official. So they must be starting already figuring these things out. And that sounds like a fun place to be right now. Not going to lie, because what Bitcoin was created to do, man, if you listen to the book, Internet of Money, even the word Bitcoin is kind of not a good name for because it still kind of says something is physical. And that's because, again, humans are not great with change. Innovation is scary. They've probably felt like they still had to connect it to the old way money worked. But the real thing about Bitcoin is it removes the physicality of assets, but still creates value that's higher than physical items. So that's really hard for people to wrap their brain around, right? Like, you mostly think things are valuable because you can see them, touch them, like real estate, right? Stocks, people just don't think of that as valuable because it's not a thing that you can see and touch. Crypto was created to like shift that mindset totally 180 and make it so people can pass and do things in a way that literally like would never be possible with money. I'll give you one of the examples of the book. The book was talking about this example where there could be a code. This is crazy. A piece of code that just runs all day, and it could do things and give money to people based on things that the community wants. So imagine this code. This code is kind of like a nonprofit. It exists. People give it money. And then based on what's going on in the world, let's say on Twitter and all social media, it's watching all of social media. And if a nonprofit gets spoken about the most that day, it will automatically receive a big chunk of money from this wallet. And that can happen every day for the rest of eternity. Automatically automated. If you thought about all the pieces that has to be created for that to be done right now with the way financial system works right now, it wouldn't be possible, right? But crypto and Bitcoin were created to like create these scenarios that most of us can't even comprehend. Because just like the internet created opportunities that most people couldn't comprehend before it, That's why they call it the internet of money. Like, it's going to create so much. And this is what decentralized finance did. Decentralized finance, most people couldn't think of this stuff until crypto existed. And of course, it was backed by all the learnings of the internet. So right now, decentralized finance is using all the learnings we've had for the last 30 years. I think the internet is only 30 years old, plus all the bad things we've learned about money throughout history. Bitcoin is just the first one, right? And now El Salvador is the first domino to drop and say, okay, we're gonna embrace this. So let me see what other questions I see. So this is what El Salvador has to legislate in their policy, how this new legal tender can be capitalized in their economy. They already accepted it. It passed. The law passed 2 days ago. I'll be honest, I'm technically ignorant on Bitcoin, on the digital currencies. Counting on you, bro. I'll be your passport for sure. All right, there you go. Everybody wants to come out. We're gonna have a tour led by Emilio of El Salvador. Thanks a lot. Agricultural exports, Magualis, I don't know what that manufactures, and human resources. Yeah. Let's talk for sure. Because I'm 100% looking at how to get property for Airbnb in El Salvador. So if you have any leads, let me know. TheLeisureFund.com. If you're interested in being involved with that, go sign up there. We'll be reaching out to you soon. I really think this is this amazing time. All right. There is a good documentary called Banking on Bitcoin. Gives a good history on the development and usage during that time. Where is it on Netflix? Where is it, Eric? There's a few good Netflix like short, I don't want to call them documentaries, but like series about money and Bitcoin and Lotto. It's like a financial literacy little set of videos that are pretty good. Talk about the stock market. So another thing I see happening, what you just said, man, because of this conversation, a lot more of us, including me, are starting to really start to get better at financial literacy. We're all caring more about how this system works. And I don't know if it's because we didn't care before, but it just wasn't, at least for me, I didn't really understand it and didn't care to. But the step-by-step of going down the rabbit hole of why is Bitcoin different than cash? Why is cash different than real estate? Why is real estate different than stock? Just understanding that and then saying, oh, wow, this crypto thing is kind of crazy. Then you go down the path of crypto even more, and you start to really see the differences. I think we're all kind of going through this financial literacy renaissance, and I think a lot of it has to do with crypto. I do think there's other factors like us becoming more retail investors, like the Robin Hoods of the world, the Cash Apps of the world, even Cash App. Cash App is an innovation in itself. It's trying to create a different type of bank in America. Why do you think in Cash App you can buy Bitcoin? Jack Dorsey's a smart guy. He knows Bitcoin is going to be eventually used here. Damn, I can't go live. I don't know what's going on here. I guess I missed the area. I guess no Clubhouse today, guys. All right. Any questions? Let me see. Make sure I say what's going on. How do you use it? All right, because it changes so much. I feel blessed. Owner, yeah. So Angelique, she has Bitcoin. She got it early, so she's lucky. There's a good documentary. Yup. Peacock. So okay, on like you got to subscribe to that, right? I believe the pandemic made us care as industries got affected. Yeah, I mean, one of the big things I see is, you know how we worry about, well, I worry about because I get to see it, companies being created that automate people out of jobs, right? So when you think about what I said about crypto being an automation to the financial system, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs. It's going to happen. The more you get into it, the more you'll see it. And most things are like that. But one thing I don't think is going to go away is the business of making money on money. What do I mean by that? See how I'm talking to Emilio? I'm like, Emilio, I'm trying to figure out how to go to El Salvador, figure out how to make businesses around whatever's going to happen in El Salvador. That's what business is, right? Business is the idea of making money around things people are going to do, right? So now I'm like, people are going to go to El Salvador. People are going to try to go there, try to do Bitcoin business. I want to be there understanding that, to work with those people and make money with those people, or make money from those people. Even DR, I said, I know people are going to want to go to DR, especially be on a nice beach. I want to own a property right there. So when they do that, they pay me, right? That's a business. Even my business with mass ideation, I knew people are going to want websites. People are going to want apps. People are going to want someone to help them when things are too technologically advanced. They will hire me and my company, right? So business is created for that. The stock market and the crypto market are different types of businesses, but they're businesses that you get to create, right? And most people don't really understand this. It took me a while to understand it once I started really playing in the space. But what is stock market? The stock market is the easiest one because that's the longest time where people understand it. What is the stock market? I'm going to give you the example of start to finish how a company uses the stock market. Let's say I come up with a great idea today. I say, look, I need investors. Hey, investors, right now I believe my company's worth $5 million. Give me $1 million. This is not a good deal. Never do this deal, but give me $1 million and I will give you, and I will give you 20% of my company for that $1 million right now. Because when I go public and the company's worth $10 billion, you're going to make whatever times your money, right? So investors do that. Every day they do that. Let's say now we get there. Day of IPO. We go public. Investors get paid back that day. Now we as the public get to buy stock in that. Oh man, my live ended. My internet is bad here today. Hopefully people move to YouTube and LinkedIn and everything. So now that we're public, the public can now buy the stock. But those early investors made a ton of money before you got to do anything with it. Now what happens is that stock hits the stock market. What happened in that day of the launch is the company sold all those shares, and now I'm trying to go live again. And now you can buy them from the stock market, right? So now, let's say my shares are $30 per share and I sell 1 million shares to the public, pay back investors. Now my company just made $30 per share times 1 million, $30 million. That goes into the company. Everything that happens after that is just the stock market making money on people selling those stocks to other people. So like, let's say I'm willing to sell my $30 share to somebody that wants it for $35. Robinhood will facilitate that for me. Okay, Robinhood takes his fee. I get my money. I'm happy. But the company that created it doesn't make any money from that transaction. They already got their money when the stock hit the stock market, right? So when you look at this and you realize that's a business, this is a business of after the stock hits the market, you can buy and sell it like a business. You can make money every day buying and selling stocks. Just like if you had a restaurant, a real estate property in Dominican Republic, El Salvador, same idea, right? What crypto allows you to do is that on steroids. You could take crypto and make it a business. That's why I say make your own bank, make your own business where you borrow and sell and lend off yourself. And you create cash flow for yourself. Crypto is probably one of the best new businesses anyone can create because it literally has little to zero, not zero, very little upfront costs. You just got to go buy the coin, go onto these websites and start. That's not the same with real estate. You got to have 20% or all of the money. Stock, you have to really understand stock, and you can borrow off your stock and stuff like that, but it's really hard This decentralized finance thing is created to make it so anyone can become their own bank and their own financial freedom. That's why right now, this Bitcoin news is so massive, because now that country, which is a poor country, everyone there is more likely than not going to own Bitcoin. And they're going to start down this path of understanding that financial freedom. Again, I don't know how it's going to work out, but okay. My buddy manages 20,000 condos in PR. Let me know when you're ready, bro. All right. Then we gotta talk, Emilio. We meeting. But I want to go to El Salvador as soon as all this COVID stuff calms down a little bit. But if there are any more questions from anybody, I know I lost the stream on the Instagram. My internet is just horrible today here. But if not, I'll end it here. My main call to action to you is, if you're scared of volatility of Bitcoin, go to Coinbase. Easiest thing you could do. Go to Coinbase, buy USDC. Let's say you have a bank account. Let's say you got $1,000 in your bank account. Take 500 of it, put it on Coinbase as USDC. So now you got 500 in your bank, 500 in Coinbase. Watch the difference of interest just from having it on Coinbase, from having it in your bank. Watch that. And then I'm going to tell you the stuff we're doing in the Matrix when you create your own bank will make that look hilarious. Like it's going to look like child's play when you see the types of interest you can get and the things you can do in decentralized finance. So I just highly suggest everybody look up decentralized finance. There's a DeFiSummit.com next week. There's a decentralized finance summit. Highly suggest everybody check that out as well. I think we're in a special time. All of this is new, brand new. A lot of this stuff, most of this stuff didn't even exist last year. That's how early you are. You're hearing me talk about it. One of the biggest things I struggled with in my whole career, even when I was making websites, when I was like 20 years old, is, man, these technology innovations are coming, but how do most of my people get involved in them? With websites, it was really hard for me to say, hey, you should really learn how to make a website. It's a lot of work, but once you learn how to make it, you'll make money. Probably more money than the job you do right now. Most people are like, yeah, I'm not a coder. I wasn't a coder either. I didn't want to be a coder, but I became a coder because there was more money in it. Then mobile, then social media. Hard to help people take advantage of that. It's really hard to want to create videos like I'm creating, to learn how to code apps. Now with decentralized finance, literally anyone can do it with as little as $10, $5, $2. You can start down that path. Anyone can do it. So for me, this is why I'm going to keep beating you guys in the head about, you need to take advantage of this innovation. This is the first innovation I've caught early that anyone can take advantage of. And it's not like you got to become a rocket scientist. You got to learn how to code. You just got to learn how to click a few buttons. And if you learn how to do that, you will make a lot more money than just keeping your money in the bank or under your mattress or whatever you do with your money. This is crazy. I'm telling you. Once you start doing it, you're going to immediately feel like, damn it, I wish I did this 1 day, 2 days, a month earlier, because this interest is not going to last forever. Once it becomes easier, once more people do it, all the interest is going to come down. It's still going to be much higher than anything in banks. But right now, the stuff is astronomical. Like I'm telling you, I've been in things with 2,000% interest. It's crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. So great show. Thank you, man. Thanks, Emilio. We're going to be in touch, man. So I'll end it here. Thank you for everybody who listened. Definitely go check out DeFi Summit. Check out crackingcrypto.club. Check out the Leisure Fund. Look forward to helping more people take advantage of the crypto decentralized finance world. All right. Have a good rest of your day, guys. Bye.